Anti-Semitism is sadly alive and well and flourishing the world over, both among the left and the right. Hi, I'm Rex Rogers, and this is episode number 239 of Discerning What Is Best, a podcast applying unchanging biblical principles in a rapidly changing world and a Christian worldview to current issues and everyday life. Anti-Semitism is, simply put, hating Jews. A formal definition comes from the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred toward Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed toward Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, toward Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. December 13, 2025, an armed individual walked into a Providence, Rhode Island, Brown University classroom of a Jewish professor where students had gathered to review for their final exam in Principles of Economics, Brown's most popular class, and one that is dominated by freshmen. He killed 2 students and injured 9 others. A day later, December 14, 2025, a terrorist mass shooting occurred at Archer Park beside Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. In the late afternoon, during a Hanukkah celebration attended by approximately 1,000 people, 2 gunmen shot at the crowd, killing 15 people, including a child. Police and Australian intelligence agencies declared it an Islamic State-linked terrorist incident. Numerous world leaders, news outlets, and Australian authorities said the shooting was motivated by anti-Semitism. Since the onset of campus protests in October 2023, in the aftermath of the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, one thing has become painfully clear. We have an anti-Semitism crisis on campus. The past academic year witnessed more than 1,400 anti-Semitic incidents on campuses across the nation, an unprecedented all-time high. A whopping 39% of Jewish college students have had to hide their identities on campus, while 62% said they have been directly blamed for Israel's military action in Gaza. The civil rights group Stop Anti-Semitism issued its 2025 report cards grading how 90 colleges address the spreading hatred against Jews on campuses, with 14 schools flunking the exam. Brown University is one of the 14. Now, contemporary examples of anti-Semitism in public life, the media, schools, the workplace, and in the religious sphere could, taking into account the overall context, include, but are not limited to, number 1, calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. 2, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such or the power of Jews as collective. 3, accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. 4, denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, for example, gas chambers, at the hands of National Socialist Germany and its supporters and accomplices during World War II, i.e., the Holocaust. Number 5, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Number 6, accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. 7, denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination, for example, by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is itself a racist endeavor. 8, applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation. Number 9, using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism. For example, claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis. Number 10, drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. And number 11, holding Jews collectively responsible for actions of the State of Israel. There is a sense in which anti-Semitism is no different than any other form of bigotry, hate, and harm directed at individuals or groups whose human characteristics differ from the hater. Racism exists in all societies. Discrimination and persecution have been directed at countless families, clans, tribes, and people groups since ancient times. Anti-Semitism, like all hate, is sin, and human beings are sinful people who sooner or later aim suspicion, fear, envy, or arrogance toward others different from themselves. But in another sense, anti-Semitism is different from other forms of racism. Anti-Semitism targets Jews as a people, not just as followers of a religion. Historically, Jews have been treated as a racialized group, for example, Nazi ideology, regardless of individual beliefs or practices. Because of this racialization, many legal systems and institutions classify anti-Semitism under racism or ethnic discrimination. But a Jewish person can be targeted even if they are atheist or secular. Anti-Semitic ideas often involve myths about bloodlines, inherent traits, or collective guilt, which go beyond religion. Anti-Semitism has some unique features compared to other forms of hate. Conspiracy theories, that is, secret control of governments or media or finance. Collective blame, holding all Jews responsible for real or imagined actions. Contradictory stereotypes, Jews portrayed simultaneously as weak and all-powerful, or persistence across very different cultures and time periods. Because of this, scholars often treat anti-Semitism as a specific category of hate, even when it is legally grouped under racism. Now, the Bible records examples of anti-Semitism. The Pharaoh and the Egyptians looked upon Jacob's descendants and said, "Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. And if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land." So they ruthlessly made the people of Israel work as slaves. Another one. The spirit of Amalek is the oldest enemy of Israel. The Amalekites were the first people to attack Israel when they left Egypt for the Promised Land. The ancient Amalekites became a symbol of unprovoked hatred toward Israel. In the book of Esther, Haman was filled with fury. So Haman sought to destroy all the Jews throughout the whole kingdom. This is one of the clearest biblical depictions of attempted genocide against Jews. Surrounding nations evidenced hatred of Israel, a collective wish for Israel's destruction. In the book of Psalms it says, "They say, 'Come, let us wipe them out as a nation. Let the name of Israel be remembered no more.'" The New Testament noted the Jews who killed both the Lord Jesus and the prophets drove us out and displeased God and oppose all mankind. 1 Thessalonians 2. This passage has historically been misused to justify anti-Semitism. But theological scholarly consensus emphasizes 1, Paul himself was Jewish. 2, it refers to specific authorities, not all Jews. 3, the New Testament elsewhere condemns hatred, Romans 11. Meanwhile, the Bible reminds us that God's covenant with the Jews is everlasting. "I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your offspring after you, throughout their generations, for an everlasting covenant. I will take the people of Israel from the nations among which they have gone, and will gather them from all around, and bring them to their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel." Now, anti-Semitism contradicts the Bible and the Christian ethic of love. Jesus said, "You shall love your neighbor as yourself." Whoever despises his neighbor is a sinner, it tells us in Proverbs. Jews are our neighbors. There are more Jews living in the United States, 7.5 million, than Jews living in Israel, 7.2 million. From Steven Spielberg, Wolf Blitzer, Jerry Seinfeld, Wonder Woman Gal Gadot, and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, to the guy at your local grocery you didn't know was Jewish, Jews are our neighbors and U.S. citizens. Hating and harming them hurts them. It hurts America, and it hurts those who hate and harm. Well, we'll see you again soon. This podcast is about discerning what is best. If you find this thought-provoking and helpful, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And for more Christian commentaries, see my website, REXM as in Martin. That's rexmrogers.com. Or check my YouTube channel at Dr. Rex Rogers. And remember, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm.